Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Insightful Accountant webinar, Building a World-Class Accounts Payable Service, sponsored by Pacific Accounting and Business Services. Insightful Accountant is an online news and information source written for small business advisors interested in the latest news and offerings in accounting technology. My name is Emily Hedrick, and I will be your webinar host. If you have any questions during the session, please enter them in the Q&A box, and we'll try to address them. Everyone that has registered will receive a follow-up email with the handout and recording later today. Today's speakers are Jim Merrill and Anand Tated. Jim Merrill is the president of U.S. Operations. He holds a Bachelor of Business Administration with a major in accounting from the University of Hawaii at Manoa, where he graduated with honors. With 20 years running small business and more than 15 years providing small and mid-sized enterprise accounting, Jim is committed to providing an outstanding client experience. His experience and expertise has allowed him to create outsourcing solutions for hundreds of small businesses. Anand Tated is the founder and chief executive officer of Pacific Accounting and Business Services, which was established in 2008. A highly experienced chartered accountant and CFA, Anand has expertise in finance, accounting, audit, and international outsourcing. As a seasoned professional with more than 20 years of public accounting experience, Anand has led audits and taxation engagements of large-scale companies across different domains, defined their business strategies, and implemented projects for F&A outsourcing of many Fortune 100 companies. He has helped numerous businesses to achieve their business objectives and goals with customized solutions. Jim, Anand, thank you both for being here with us today. And when you're ready, you can get started.
Thank you, Emily. And good morning, everybody, and good afternoon to a few of you on the East Coast. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to look at, accounts payable, accounting services in general, of course, but accounts payable specifically. And then we're going to talk a little bit about why CPAs should consider offering AP services, and if you do, how to make it a world-class AP. So Anand, please take it away.
Thank you, Jim. So to begin, let's look at accounting from a CPA firm's perspective. In all my experience, what I've seen is that most accounting firms provide either taxation or audit services, with just about a third offering bookkeeping services also. When we talk about bookkeeping in an accounting firm environment, it's mostly understood as after-the-fact write-up. We are typically collecting the source documents from the clients, be it the bank statements, credit card statements, payroll reports, etc. And based on those reports, you write up the books, prepare the financials at the end of the quarter or at the end of the year, mostly for tax returns filing purpose or for some other compliance purpose. Now, as you move up the value chain in your bookkeeping service offering, or I should say, as you start offering accounting services to some of your larger customers, you will want to look at these accounting processes that you see on this slide distinctly. So AP, AR, the general ledger, financial reporting, they are all different departments for a larger company and need to be managed and approached differently. So our focus area for today is going to be accounts payable and how you as a CPA can offer that as a service to some of your clients.
So who needs dedicated accounts payable? You know, not every business needs a dedicated accounts payable department. Small companies are generally able to manage AP with a small effort. But anytime there's a larger volume of purchase transactions, a dedicated department is necessary. Additionally, companies with complex AP requirements that need to ensure proper controls are in place, they also need a strong dedicated AP department.
So before we get into this slide, let's spend a minute on why accounts payable is so important from an outsourcing standpoint. In terms of size, AP is by far the single largest department in most companies, or I should say in most of the accounting departments of companies. Even if you look at any job posting website, you'll always find that a huge percentage of accounting jobs are related to AP. AP is also the easiest process to outsource. In my career, I worked with several Fortune 500 companies in relation to accounting outsourcing, and AP was always the first in line to get outsourced. Now that we know who would be a good client for AP service based on what Jim shared, let's dig into what it really takes to build a good accounts payable department. So I always like to call this, the three pillars or the three fundamentals of AP. That's people, process, and technology. When it comes to people, what we have seen is more often than not, companies employ underqualified people, mostly high school pass outs in their AP department. However, the minimum qualification that you can expect in an outsourced environment is an accounting graduate. So when a company outsources their AP function, it's not just a cost arbitrage, but also a professional arbitrage that they can benefit from. The second pillar, the process. So we've got to build a process, an AP process that's really control driven and efficient. A good example of a control driven process is multi-level approval requirement for transactions above a certain dollar amount. An efficient process will ensure that the invoice doesn't move back and forth between different departments. So a lot of thought has to go into designing the right process. And then again, there's got to be a reporting function that reports on each and every aspect of the AP department, such as, was a wrong vendor paid? Did we pay a wrong amount? What is the efficiency for the team members of the AP department? And so on. Coming to technology, the right technology will reduce the processing time significantly through automation and hence the cost. Also, built-in checks and balances, including the complete audit trail, will help reduce errors. For instance, a good system will ensure that the available credit is always applied to the outstanding invoices by default. Duplicate invoices will be notified by the system. So a lot of controls can be brought in by a best-in-class AP software. Once you build a professional world-class AP department, you'll want to make sure that it functions well on an ongoing basis. But how do you know that's happening? So there are certain metrics that are considered industry standards to help you know that the process is operating at an optimum level of performance. The turnaround time, a good AP process always ensures that the invoices get processed on a timely basis. The goal should be to process the invoices within 48 hours of receiving them. Accuracy, it's just so important. How do you ensure that there is no duplicate payment that goes out, or someone doesn't get paid incorrectly, or the invoice doesn't get charged in the books to an incorrect GL code? So there's got to be a maker-checker process, frequent vendor ledger reconciliation, and other controls that will ensure that the accuracy is high all the time. When it comes to cost, it all boils down to efficiency. The cost for processing an AP invoice, which is typically between $5 and $6 in-house, can come down to under $2 in an outsourced situation. This is achieved primarily by building a good process and automated technology around it, and then supported by less expensive offshore resources. Last but very important, delayed payments. You just want to make sure that none of your vendors are dissatisfied ever just because they did not get paid on time. Well, if the company is struggling with cash flow, it's a different situation, but there has to be zero tolerance around delays due to inefficient AP department. That should be the goal. These are samples of some of the reporting of the metrics that I just spoke about that can be of so much of benefit to the management. It's the best way to make sure that everything is operating the way it is supposed to.
Thanks, Anand. So Anand covered ideal departments, but we know there are often problems with accounts payable. Now, I don't usually like too many words on a slide, but the list of accounts payable problems can seem endless. We know that AP is a huge area for potential loss of money and fraud. Add to that the potential impact poor controls and processes can have on the operations. But business owners and managers often don't know how to mitigate these risks. Knowledgeable and competent internal controllers and accounting managers, they're hard to find and hard to retain, and they can be expensive. The need sometimes is so great that business owners, and we've seen it, business owners will give too much control to that trusted employee, and that results in other problems and losses. Companies everywhere really are experiencing a shortage of qualified and reliable accounts payable personnel right now. If we look at three areas, procurement will be the first. Procurement involves several areas of a company because it requires preparation, solicitation, payment processing. Procurement and procurement processes can require substantial effort from a company's resources to properly manage. It's often part of a company strategy because the ability to purchase materials or services effectively can, in the end, determine a company profitability as well. Next, cash flow. Refining a company's accounts payable processes can really help enhance that cash outlook, improve the accuracy of your cash flow forecasts, create an atmosphere to improve liquidity. You can lessen the risk potential of funding gaps, and you can realize higher profits. Failure to adopt accounts payable processes really diminish the company's ability to process invoices on a timely basis, to take advantage of available discounts, and then it makes it difficult to set longer or shorter pay terms with suppliers. Lastly, if we look at vendor management, of the activities that large AEP departments are responsible for, this is an important one, being responsive to vendors and providing them really high quality experience. When vendors have questions around payment status or account reconciliation, the customer service team or that AP customer service team that handles vendors really needs to get involved. When AP gets outsourced, vendor management is often the last function to move. Clients prefer to retain it in-house and then outsource it later on as they build trust and confidence in the services and the systems. Businesses without qualified staff sometimes don't even know what they're missing. Without a chief financial officer, a chief information officer, or even a highly experienced controller, they're not maximizing their AP department. They don't know AP technology, and they don't know accounting technologies in general, and they don't know what better accounts payable reporting can really do for the company. So where can they find help? How about their trusted CPA? So businesses, your clients, they're having challenges with accounts payable. They're not maximizing the potential of accounts payable reporting and just problems in general. So who of your clients would not welcome a reasonable solution from that trusted partner, and their confidence would be high in their CPA? So CPAs are out there, they're offering and growing their accounts payable services. Different from write-up and bookkeeping functions, the focus is just on accounts payable or possibly full accounting with an accounts payable engagement as well. The client focus here is larger companies or those with a high volume of purchase invoices. Usually they have a dedicated accounting department in place, or at minimum they have a busy accounts payable clerk. So a couple questions we want to ask here. Why are CPAs offering services, and how can you ensure success? So first, the why. Number one, clients need the services. They are struggling. They're struggling to retain. They're struggling to get it right. They need some help. Number two, accounts payable services are nice recurring revenue. Would really benefit your practice to have that monthly revenue coming in. Three, offering the service can be profitable in itself. Four, providing a high quality AP product can also lead to additional accounting work, whether it's that monthly and annual close and reporting, tax work, consulting, and so forth. Lastly, it leads to better, more reliable results for tax preparation. The bulk, and in most companies, the bulk of transactions flow through accounts payable. And when it's done poorly, you've seen the results, the books are troublesome. But when you have the AP under control and therefore the other accounting under control, it really leads to a much more efficient, effective annual close and therefore tax preparation effort. So next we're going to look at how a busy CPA can offer AP services. It's really four things that need to be in place: people, processes, systems, and procedures. And each of these pillars from a CPA point of view can often be most effectively addressed by partnering with a qualified expert. The best partners have knowledge, expertise, technology, and the resources necessary to support you in not just servicing your client, but really looking to improve and add value to their accounts payable program. A partner in correlation with you and your internal team and your client, they can provide everything necessary for a successful AP outsourcing product. They will provide the people resources necessary to manage AP. They will develop SOPs, work papers, programs, calendars, and anything else necessary to ensure that the processes are accurate and complete. They can guide and provide systems necessary to achieve 100% effective accounts payable. You know, each business is different. A qualified partner really can help you and your client analyze the needs for procurement, for invoice processing and workflow, for approvals, payment processing, and AP and cash flow reporting. So important. They will work in coordination with management and the CPA really to determine appropriate procedures and apply controls to best protect those important client assets. So we're looking at an offshore partner here. What quality can you expect when partnering with an offshore services provider? A quality partner will excel in communication, technology, knowledge, experience, and have a client-focused solution. Look for a blended shore model where U.S. resources are combined with the offshore resources. Some obvious benefits are listed here on your screen, but two I'd like to focus on are these. A good partner will be solution-focused. Instead of offering, here's what we do for you, it really should be, let's understand the client needs and develop a solution that fits their program. Second one, blended shore model I mentioned a moment ago. With resources in the U.S. and abroad combined, this allows for the best of both worlds. You get the excellent cost and improved processing, and you get improved interactions and client support. It really is a good solution there. But most important maybe is cost. Cost is often the deciding factor. Hence the sometimes poor but affordable AP departments that many of your clients have in their back office. But what if you could offer accounts payable at the same cost or even less? In general, a CPA staff, your practice, your staff, probably more expensive than your client's internal staff. So outsourcing work to a CPA, not necessarily cost effective. It can even be a bit more expensive, even when considering the losses and operational efficiencies that your clients are experiencing. But a quality offshore partner will run from 1/3 to 1/2 the cost of a U.S.-based team. If we look at the chart here, you'll see that an accounts payable clerk in the U.S., and this comes from Robert Half, 2020 Salary Guide, accounts payable clerk in the U.S. runs at $36,000. And a likewise AP clerk offshore is closer to $18,000 a year. And an AP manager or an AP lead can cost on average $63,000 a year, but that offshore resource will just be $31,000 a year. Pretty good savings, but it's also important to consider the employee costs and overhead. Expenses like payroll tax and health insurance, plus overhead. The savings really get to be significant. The model here shows a 58% cost savings over your client's cost of labor. Scalability adds additional cost effectiveness. Your client may not need a full-time AP resource, but that's what they have to hire. If you can offer a 3/4 resource that meets their needs, that's going to save even more money. Or it could be the other way, that they really need 1 1/4 resources, but it's just impractical to hire 2 to fit that need. So scalability really adds to the cost effectiveness. So I think we're looking at a win-win situation here. Anybody interested in offering accounts payable under an offshore model really gets a good deal. Clients see an improved AP function, sometimes at a lesser cost, and then you, the practice owner, you get revenue with hopefully a little bit less headache, something that can add revenue without taking your effort and your team's efforts. Anand?
Yep. So what next? So let's talk about how you can really go about offering this service. So one of the things that you could do is identify those one or two customers that have the most AP transactions or have the most complex AP situation, or they may have difficulty retaining their staff and they're ready to explore outsourcing and consider outsourcing. So you'll have to do a complete assessment to identify the pain areas or areas of opportunities within your client's processes and create a new process and solution that really addresses those concerns and pain areas. And at the end of it, you'll be ready with a plan that you can roll out to transform the accounts payable for your customer and take it to the next level. Again, there are two choices. I mean, you can do it all by yourself or use an experienced third-party provider like PABS that has the combination of the right resources, right processes and controls, and most importantly, the right technology that will make the process very, very efficient for your clients and make you the hero for your clients.
For those of you interested in learning more about offshoring and outsourcing, I'd welcome you to visit this webinar I did recently. I did it with Insightful Accountant webinar, and you'll find it at YouTube, so you may want to take a look there. So wrap-up questions. Does your 2021 plan include growth from accounts payable? Maybe even better, should your 2021 revenue plan include AP services? We think it's a much-needed service for many small and mid-sized companies. At the same time, it can be a profitable recurring revenue line for your practice. That's all we have. Thank you. We now welcome any questions. Emily, do we have any questions out there?
I don't see any so far, Jim. I was going to say, do you also want to ask if what people might be interested in for your next webinar?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've just begun doing these webinars and getting a good result so far. So if you have topics that you would like to see in relationship to outsourcing, offshoring, high volume transaction processing, and anything related in that area, would love to take your suggestions and put together a presentation for that. We work with really, I gotta say, dozens and dozens of CPAs, and they love what we do in a number of ways, but we also know that what we do goes hand in hand with a CPA function, and happy to work with folks. Anything, Emily?
No, Jim, nothing so far. I think you guys were really thorough. We have a comment. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
We can just give it a few more minutes. Is there anything else that you guys would like to touch on before we go?
No, I think we've covered everything in our presentation. It's I guess I'll just restate the obvious. We've had so many run across so many businesses in the 12 years we've been doing this that AP's a mess. It's not always an easy thing to run, and it's a big plus for our clients and our CPA's clients when they get that support that they need. So we would welcome a call. I'll move to welcome to contact us at pacificabs.com. We've been doing this, like I say, 12 years, and happy to help.
There are two questions.
Oh, great.
What is the normal onboarding process for outsourcing?
It starts with a kickoff call, and that kickoff call is really the initial to understand the systems, the processes, the company model. We have developed checklists and multiple checklists to go through just to make sure that everything is covered. We then work with the client to design processes, set up accesses, and move forward from there. In most cases, we're ready to be up and running with the daily transaction work, usually within 1 to 2 weeks in most situations.
Okay, someone said, can you back into history and repair errors?
We do that a lot. I think a lot of accounting firms deal with that. Gee, I haven't filed tax returns in 5 years. Can you help get us done? So we do that, but also just on accounts payable, we've gone back and done the past couple of years of cleanup work. So yes, absolutely, project work is welcome.
Do you propose a certain software for managing the AP process?
We're fairly software agnostic. Often we're using industry specific ERPs, or there's the Sage products and Intact and QuickBooks and Xero. They all work. So no, we're not tied to any particular software. It's really, as with any solution, it's what's best for the client.
Okay, and can you help develop the processes? I guess that
Yes.
onboarding.
Yeah. That's all part of the onboarding. We've done this hundreds of times, and we've just got the routine, the checklists, and the knowledge to do that.
Yeah. And I'd just add to that it's part of all our onboardings. I mean, it's kind of we do it in 100% of the cases, documenting those processes, developing the standard operating procedures, developing the work programs, and all of that. And we do the complete assessment of the process before onboarding any new client.
Okay, sorry, getting a few more questions.
Great.
What is the prerequisite one should have in place before engaging an outsourcing partner?
Have a need. We really do work with companies and CPA practices, large and small, and everybody comes with a different situation. And any good partner is going to be flexible enough to work with whatever you have and build the solution. So really that's our focus. It's really building solutions depending on that client needs. So there are no prerequisites except maybe an open mind to how to fix problems.
Okay. I think this might be a three-part question. How soon one can experience the difference in terms of results that we gain? And how about security and compliance? What processes do you have in place?
Great questions. So in terms of results, as I mentioned, we're generally up and running on daily transactions within a couple of weeks. And I would say 3, 4, 5 weeks in, you're really starting to see results. It takes a bit of work on both sides, from the client side and the accounts payable side, to build that bridge and communication. But once it gets going, it starts moving forward pretty smoothly. Security-wise, Anand, why don't you share ISO and
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So we are ISO 9001 and ISO 27001 certified company. So these are the highest level of certifications that you can have from a process and an IT security standpoint. So what it means is that we have a lot of controls that we put in place, from a people standpoint, from a technology standpoint. And we've been in this business for 12 years, and touch wood, no incident of data getting stolen or anything happening from that standpoint.
Okay. This is quite a few questions. What could be your per invoice costing? What is the pricing model?
Pricing model is really a flat fee. It's more predictable for everybody. So Our general pricing method is to do an analysis of the business needs, how many invoices, how many payments are there to process, what other processes need to be handled, do an estimate of effort, and come in at a flat fee. And I'm sorry, what was the other half of that question?
I think you got, what is the pricing model and what could your per invoice costing be?
Right. So I think just to add to what Jim mentioned, when it comes to accounts payable specifically, I mean, in large environments where clients have multiple people in their AP department, we also do a per FTE pricing. So that's about, as Jim, had a slide on that, it's about $18,000 a year for an AP clerk and goes all the way up to $30,000 for a team lead position. And then when it comes to the per invoice costing, again, it depends on the volume. So if we were to onboard a new customer that has a need to, get, let's say, 10,000 AP invoices processed versus someone who just had 500 invoices, of course, there's going to be a different pricing for that. But the pricing goes, all the way down to, if it is just processing and no other part of accounts payable, but just processing invoices strictly, it can go as low as, a dollar or even under that when, when the volumes are really high.
Okay, there's a question. Do you serve CPAs currently? Which industries do you work with?
Anand, why don't you jump?
Yeah,
there?
yep. So we work with a lot of CPAs, about 35 of those right now. And again, there are a couple of models where when we work with CPAs, it's either a white label kind of an arrangement where we are their back office, and in some cases they just prefer to they just choose to refer some of their clients in relation to their accounting needs to us. In terms of industries, we've got manufacturing clients from retail, franchise, and independents, not-for-profits, healthcare, a lot of professional service companies. So a really big spread in terms of the industry verticals that we service.
Okay. Someone asked, where is the staff located? Infrastructure and number of employees.
So yeah, you want to take that, Jim?
No, go on, and please.
Yeah, so most of our staff is based in India, but of course we've got offices and staff in the US and in Australia. But bulk of the processing, the majority of the work gets done in India so that the clients can get benefit from the low cost location in terms of the costing. And in terms of number of employees, we are about 350 employee company now.
Do you offer just the AP service, and what is your accuracy?
So it's not just AP, but for most of our customers, and Jim, I would say maybe for 95% of our customers, we do end-to-end accounting. It's not just AP, but AR, the bank reconciliation, closing the books on a monthly basis, producing the financials. So the complete cycle of accounting. So we pretty much do, end-to-end. And sorry, you had one more point in that question, right? The second part?
Yes, and they asked, what is the accuracy, I guess, of the outsourced workers?
Right. So we have a maker-checker process in place for every activity. So let's say when a transaction gets processed, there's a reviewer who's reviewing all the transactions that get processed for accuracy. When the books get closed and the financials are generated by the senior accountant, the supervisor or the team lead kind of reviews the financials and makes sure that the work program is followed and everything seems accurate from a trend perspective, and nothing's kind of left out. So we promise for transaction work, we promise 99% accuracy to all our clients.
All right, great. I have two more questions. One is, will my clients know that I'm outsourcing? And two is 8T secured to outsource?
First question is or first answer is your choice. Especially in the beginning, CPAs prefer just to keep us in the background, but we have quite a few businesses that we work directly with as well. So it's really, again, building that right solution. But in the end, we're your back office, and how you want to use us, whether or not that's direct client facing or not, is really your decision. And I'm sorry, Emily, what was the second question?
It says, is 8T secured to outsource?
Is AP secured to outsource? Yes.
Okay, those are all of the questions we have. I just want to say thank you, Jim and Anand. Thank you for the presentation today. Everyone, thank you for joining us. I will get the webinar recording and handout here to everyone shortly. Is there anything else you guys would like to add?
No, thank you, Emily, and thanks everybody for joining us today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Everybody have a great day.